Well, welcome back to the C-Suite Spot. Today, I'm delighted to get the chance finally to interview Kate Cawley. Kate is the founder of Varus UK, and she set the company up about 6 years ago with a vision to transform the way food and drink companies think and act about sustainability. She leads a team of fearless advocates for change, and through their dynamic use of technology and media, Varus are now being seen by many food manufacturers as key advisors on their journey to net zero. I've had the personal pleasure of working alongside Kate throughout this Varus journey so far, and I've witnessed her energetic and inclusive leadership style in what is a highly challenging and still, unfortunately, a male-dominated sector. Kate is a true entrepreneur and visionary, and she won't like me saying that, but it's true, with a passion to help bring about much needed change in our food and drink industry. Well, welcome, Kate.
Hello, thank you. That's a very kind introduction, Rob.
I realise it went on quite a lot, but I've been looking forward to getting you on this because you're notoriously modest. The way this works is we've got about 5 questions, very relaxed. And I know the LinkedIn viewers will be keen to hear your answers. So let me get started. Perhaps if you could just explain a bit about Varus, what it's about, what your vision is for the food and drink sector.
Yes, so Varus, we are a sustainability consultancy, but we take quite an agency approach, which I think is quite unique. So I wouldn't say we're a technical consultancy per se, although we understand the big issues. But although Varus has been going for about 6 or 7 years now, I've been doing this for about 12 years, I worked out the other day. And our approach is really about people and kind of humanizing sustainability. And I think kind of really focusing on engagement and kind of getting people to see what an incredible outcome this could deliver, I think. And yeah, sort of been working with the food and drink sector for about 6 years now, which I absolutely love. It's a really fast-paced industry, so that suits us because we like to move at pace. And I think the amazing thing about food is that it touches everybody, and food is a great connector. So yeah, it's a sector that we absolutely love to work in.
Brilliant. And so you've had, as you said, quite an interesting career in sustainability. How would you say this last 12 months of coronavirus has impacted the sustainability sector?
I think it's interesting. So I would say the last 12 months have probably been the most exciting period of Varus's kind of short history, really, because what we're seeing now is we're seeing some of I pride ourselves on is being able to kind of always take that helicopter view and do that horizon scan about what's coming next. And we kind of entered 2020, everybody within the sustainability sector was billing it as the decade of action. And we were kind of pushing and challenging our clients to kind of think like that this is it. We've got 10 years to kind of really move the dial and take action on climate. But actually the experiences of COVID and kind of all of us pulling together, taking a more empathetic approach has actually fast-tracked that. And what's so exciting is there's a genuine different feel, not only with clients, but we've won a load more clients because suddenly the ambition is there and a lot of barriers have been broken down. I think a combination of realizing what is possible when people collaborate and pull together, but also the way we now work kind of, digitally, kind of digital first, has broken down a lot of barriers about what is possible, which is really exciting. So whilst it's had a lot of strains and stresses, as every business has, and we've had to pivot a lot, and I've had to, the team has had to change to kind of take advantage of these opportunities and kind of make sure we survive. Actually, I think we're now in a really, really the strongest position we've ever been in. And we're working with some really, really exciting businesses now who are genuinely ambitious about leading.
Okay, brilliant. And that kind of sort of merges into what I was going to say. So, is there anything else you want to share a bit about Varus in the last 12 months and how you've had to adapt and pivot, as you mentioned?
Yeah, so it's been an interesting one. And I wouldn't say I am passionate about what we do, but I'm probably not the greatest actual business leader, how to actually run a business. A lot of it is on gut feel and just passion. And I strongly believe that if you're passionate about something, you can deliver the results. It will kind of get you halfway there. And I think before the pandemic, I had a team that were very hands-on, would pull the boots on, roll our sleeves up and help food factories and sites actually deliver stuff, if that makes sense. And we would be on the ground, not just in food factories, but also we did a lot within the kind of built environment, real estate sector as well. So that side obviously stopped immediately with the pandemic, because obviously we weren't, everybody was having to isolate, shield, that type of thing. So that was difficult because that was effectively half of the business, and we kind of really prided ourselves on being kind of hands-on and supportive and delivering it. But actually, in retrospect, I think actually it was making clients too reliant on us to deliver results, when actually what we're doing now and kind of really looking at ways of using tech and digital and is more of an advisory position and supporting and upskilling their own teams to deliver the programs, because that's ultimately what's more sustainable. And actually it's enabling us to work with more people and a faster pace as well, I think. And it probably sounds really bloody obvious now when you think about it, but yeah, that's definitely put us in a stronger position, because the best people to deliver a sustainable business transition are the people within a business, and we're just there to advise, challenge, be that critical friend and kind of keep that momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. And as you say, it's from the inside out. Once you can establish that and get that momentum from the inside out, it's very powerful. And I know you've been successful at doing that with your team. So one of the questions I've kind of been asking some of the C-suite interviewees is a more of a personal one. So from your personal perspective, and I know you probably won't enjoy answering this, but I'd really appreciate if you could. On a personal front, how have you coped over the last 12 months through all of this?
All right, I think. I mean, it has been tough. I speak from a place of privilege. I live in a nice village. I have a very supportive partner. I only have one child. So yeah, it's been fine. But I have really, really missed. We're a very social kind of people focused team, so I've really missed the team being together, because we're relatively small and we don't have much structure, and so our meetings and how we kind of operate as a business are by being in the same room together and brainstorming and sharing ideas consistently. So that's been a bit of there's been a few pain points in that we've had to be much more kind of regimented system and process, which is not me at all, but I recognize we need it, because we have to arrange these things to make sure I can download from my brain to the team and vice versa. So we have to make much more effort to find time to do this, whereas before it was very organic because we were in the room together. So yeah, that's been tough. And then just being stuck at home when I love being out and about, kind of being with people as well. And I think it's hard to read the room as well online. It is hard to read the room.
Yeah, I agree. And I think everyone is probably at that jaded point now of Zooms, etc. But, personally, and I'm sure from a lot of your network, the Varus business lunches have been missed, that's for sure. Bring them back in 2020, 2022.
Yes, they are firmly on the agenda.
And finally, Kate, where do you see the next 6 months as we emerge from this lockdown, and what are the kind of big focus areas do you think for Varus?
So we're still focusing hard on the food industry. It's something that we're all really passionate about, and we're now kind of advising and working with a lot of the big own label food manufacturers, which is on a personal level really exciting, that we can genuinely influence change at scale, and we take quite a partnership approach as well. But what I'm really passionate about is that we build from this momentum of the food manufacturers pulling together and working together to keep the nation fed. So I think they've shown what's possible when they collaborate instead of operating in their own very competitive silos. And we need to do the same for climate, because actually there's no winners and losers in climate. We either all win or we all lose. So it's trying to keep this this going. But I think it's also building on, there is a negative perception and there is a PR problem with big food and food manufacturing. And I think there is a really goodwill within the public about keeping the nation fed. So let's capitalize on that. Let's kind of show what a fantastic sector it is and all the good bits, and really scale that up together to kind of deliver a really sustainable food system. And I think, you know, people get very confused and overwhelmed and don't really understand what net zero means. And there's a huge climate skills gap from boards right down to the factory floor. And that's something we're really kind of focusing on helping to kind of develop and kind of plug that gap, so to speak, because I think these kind of very senior people have an obligation to use their voice for good and to influence. And I think they do actually underestimate how much influence they can have, because they are incredible business leaders, because they wouldn't be leading these very successful companies if they weren't. And actually they need to use that to kind of galvanize action on climate. And I think, yeah, I'm hopeful there's some energy and traction building up with that, and they're becoming more confident to do so, which is really exciting to be part of those conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And I think, you know, the way you've worked to get to this position, I'm sure it's going to be a successful next 6-12 months and onwards, and how you're influencing that change. So, hey, thanks so much for coming on, and, you know, catch up soon, and thank you. Take care.
Nice to see you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.